Southport Square residents. This is your Executive Director, Brian Hess, with another episode of Around the Square.
Woo-hoo!
It has been a few weeks. My goodness. I don't know where we've been. We've been hiding. We kind of we hunkered down during the storm and we just didn't emerge for a couple of weeks here. But we are back and we are hopefully better than ever. But here to give you all a quick update on some COVID stuff happening across our campus, as well as a storm update of where we are and what's going on. And I think most of this episode is probably going to be me talking. So, have fun with that one. Hope you all like my discussions. But we'll get back to, stuff happening around campus soon enough. But we just have a lot of things to cover today. So I'll try and get through it as quick as possible. But I'm, of course, going to start with a COVID update because that's how we roll here on Around the Square. So to just give you all a quick update, yes, COVID is still out there. The Hurricane Ian did not blow it away, although we all wished it would have happened that way.
Did.
So, but the state of Florida right now is reporting that the state is currently at a 7.1% positivity rate. And Charlotte County is at an 8.1% positivity rate. So we've seen it come down overall. The total number of positivity has come down or reduced quite a bit. Also, the CDC is showing that Charlotte County is green or low currently. So that's good news as well, that we're seeing the numbers come back down. We still on our campus right now, unfortunately, we do have 9 positive residents and 2 staff members that are positive. So of those 9 positive residents, 8 of those are in our assisted living and 1 is in our independent living. So I will pause for a second and talk a little bit about our health center and the masking side in our health center. So just within the last week, we received some updates from the federal government, the state of Florida, and our LCS support folks in talking about masks in the health center. So currently right now, there is no longer a requirement to wear a mask in a skilled nursing or an assisted living or memory care if our community transmission level is green or low, and if we do not have an outbreak, which an outbreak is considered 1 or more cases. So currently, our skilled nursing has no active COVID cases, and we are in a low transmission community, Charlotte County being a low transmission community. So we are allowed to go without masks in our skilled nursing currently. So if you're over there in the near future, that's on the first floor of our Harbor Health Center. If you're over there in the near future, you might see staff, you might see visitors not wearing masks. It is still optional, which means that you are more than welcome to grab a mask and wear one. I know I still wear one just to try to protect our residents because I know those are the sickest of our residents here on our campus, and I just want to make sure folks are safe. But it is not a requirement any longer. The same would hold true for the assisted living and memory care, is that if there is no COVID in that area or in that level of care, we can go without masks. Unfortunately, since the news rolled out, we have had COVID cases in our assisted living. And so we are still masked upstairs, the 2nd and 3rd floors, and we'll continue to remain that way until we get rid of those COVID cases in that level of care. So that's just a quick update for y'all. So if you get over there and you are visiting friends or family over there or a loved one, you'll know that there are some differences in the masking policy and procedure over there. The front desk will always be in the loop and in the know and be able to tell you or give you direction of whether you have to wear a mask or not going into the building. So please just ask them to make sure that you're following the protocol that we have in place as of that day. Also wanted to give you a quick update, flu shots. So we are still progressing with our flu shot clinic coming up here. That is October 25th and 26th, so that will be next week. And Jerry Faith is working to get all of the final coordination and some communication we'll be sending out so that you can actually see what the game plan is. But we will be planning on having the flu shots held in each of the lobbies, and we'll probably schedule by floor to make it a little bit more organized and getting folks to flow through the process. If you do have an opportunity to go get a flu shot prior to those dates, go for it. Great to get it out of the way. If you want to head to CVS or Walgreens, or if you get it through your physician's office, however you'd like to do that, if you have that opportunity, go get it now while you can. But we will be providing that for our residents if you'd like to participate. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about Hurricane Ian and kind of what happened, during the storm and what's kind of been happening since the storm and where we're at today. So, of course, I think many of y'all will remember September 28th, wonderful day, right? Best day in the world, Wednesday. We had Hurricane Ian roll through here, roll through Charlotte County as a whole and right through Southport Square. We were kind of in that eye for a very brief period, but for the most part, we were just in that eye wall, which was just significant winds, a lot of winds. And of course, looking around our campus, we saw some of the damage. But I would like to say, first and foremost, I am incredibly proud of our team here during the storm. Just cannot say enough thanks to the folks that were here. We had people that were doing everything from trying to keep residents comfortable to in our health center passing meds at the height of the storm and making sure residents that needed medications and other health needs were being attended to. We had people holding doors closed that were blowing in the wind, including some residents at some points in time. So thank you. It was everybody, kind of pulled together, and we worked together as a team here to keep our entire campus safe. It's pretty incredible to think back that we spent, over 13 hours in the corridors, just trying to stay safe and protected in the kind of the inside of the building where we know it's the safest. And also to know that, during those 13 hours, we had winds that were an increase of 140, 150 miles an hour, going through outside our campus. The other thing kind of incredible to think about is we had 700 plus people on this campus. And through that 700 plus people, we had very few incidents that happened during that storm time. And by very few, I mean, I think we had a bruise and a cut or several cuts that happened. So very, very little minor injuries.
Blisters,
yes.
Yes, I had lots of blisters. I did 11 miles that day.
I didn't think about that, but our staff did get blisters on their feet from running those hallways.
Yeah.
So for sure, that was some of those injuries. But anyway, all in all, I'm very pleased at how our campus did and how we held together. Obviously, a lot of damage to the buildings, but every life was safe. And we felt really good about how we did sheltering in place here through this storm. So just wanted to talk through kind of after the storm. So the storm, passed. We were finally able to get most people back into their units or into a temporary unit if their unit was damaged sometime at midnight or after, depending on how quick, we're able to move by each floor. And the next morning, we came out of our cocoon, if you will, in our buildings, and we started to assess the damage. And I'll say on Thursday, the 29th of September, by about late morning or so, we had a huge response here on our campus, not just our own team, kind of trying to get out and get things cleaned up as best as possible, but we had the blue team roll in here shortly after on the 29th. Yes, absolutely. They've been doing a great job. We had LCS or Life Plan Peak staff members, management, rolling in here late that morning as well. And they stayed with us for several days. And they came in and they brought supplies, they brought resources, they brought all of the support that we needed. It was really great to see the response from everybody. I can remember standing out front on my satellite phone because obviously no cell service was really working. We didn't have electricity. I was on the satellite phone trying to call whoever I could get a hold of. And as soon as I got a hold of folks, they already said, listen, they are on their way. I will tell you the other thing is I had our Life Plan Peak management on the phone during the storm on Wednesday at about 2 o'clock maybe in the afternoon when things started kicking up a little bit and I knew there was going to be some damages. And I said, listen, I need to make sure we're in communication with the blue team because we're already starting to see some damages here. And they connected me with the blue team and I was able to exchange text messages and some phone calls with them prior to us losing cell service. So I already knew on Wednesday that the blue team was staged in Lakeland and they were ready to go as soon as that storm passed to get down and help us with whatever the needs were. So really great to see that response from our corporate office side as well as our vendor that our corporate office contracts with to get in here and help. And then I think the last piece of just some of the teams that came in, we had the LifeCare LCS EverSafe 360 organization, they actually had built an emergency response team about a year ago. That was one of their initiatives. So the LCS EverSafe 360, if y'all remember, they worked on air quality during COVID. They worked on telehealth during COVID. They had a lot of different pieces that they were working on during that COVID timeframe. And from that, they had basically built this emergency response team. We were the first community that they were able to launch that emergency response team into and use them. And they were such a huge help. They came here and they did a little bit of the grunt work. They did a lot of the organizing and kind of running our command center to make sure that we had, kind of organization of what was happening on our campus the first few days after the storm. So what a huge help. They are still here to this day. This week actually will be the last week that we have our emergency response team on site. They're pretty much wrapping up the last of the little odds and ends, and we'll continue to run that with our staff here on site. So very appreciative and proud of the team that came and kind of how they worked through that. Also, just wanted to give you a quick update on the LCS Foundation. So for residents you might not know, LCS, our management company, Life Care Services, they actually run a foundation which is there to support the staff members of LCS. So all associates that work under LCS or some type of service under LCS are qualified to submit applications into the foundation. And so since the storm rolled through here, since Hurricane Ian came through, LCS started rolling out applications to us, and we started filling them out. And to this date already, I believe we have about 170 or 180 applications in the works. And I know as I sit here today speaking with you, I know I already have probably about 95 or so checks that have already been cut, and they are in the mail to me right now so that we can start distributing them out to some of our staff members. Yes. So
I have
very
to say,
pleased.
Brian, I'm sorry to interrupt your monologue here, but between the residents and the response from LCS, Southport Square is definitely my home.
Yeah.
And I am so proud to work here and so thankful. So thank you, LCS.
Says
and
the woman,
residents.
Yes, says the woman behind the camera.
That's right.
That is Dawn, and thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. And I am truly proud to work here at Southport Square, to be a part of LCS, and to join with the residents. Not only did the LCS Foundation pull through from a monetary standpoint and a financial standpoint, but we had LCS come together as a company, and they started sending things like clothing, food, bedding. They sent all kinds of stuff to us for our staff members that lost, their entire homes in some instances. So as we've worked through this, it has been great to see the support that we've had. It's really great to see, kind of everybody pulling together to help. In that same note, I just wanted to mention for those residents, you might see some of our staff members that are still here on site, living on site, and we do have probably 10 or fewer employees that are living on site currently, but those are staff members who unfortunately have lost their entire homes during the storm. And so we are doing everything we can to support them. They continue to work here for us and to continue to serve our residents. And we want to make sure that we show that we care about them, and we want them to know they have a place to stay. So they're all working on finding their permanent location. It is a little challenging right now with the amount of destruction and damage that occurred across Charlotte County. We're working very quickly to kind of get them back on their feet and help them in any way that we possibly can right now. Yeah. Also, just wanted to share, so as the Blue Team works through, some of you as residents may have already had the Blue Team in your apartments starting to do some of the remediation work, and others, you're on the list and we'll be working through that. But the Blue Team has actually been working very closely with our insurance carrier, and they've identified areas where they have to essentially mitigate where water damage occurred, or if there was damage in any way, shape, or form in an apartment. So whether that's a window that may have been broken or a lanai that was blown away, things like that. And so as they work through that progress, we will be working on trying to notify residents of when they come to do some of the work in the apartment, meaning ripping out some drywall, or maybe removing some pieces of carpet, or that type of work, maybe some ceiling work, things like that. So we are going to be notifying you when that happens. In the interim, we do have the blue team coming in, and they are placing drying equipment. That is happening across the entire campus. Please, I would ask that just please your patience and understanding as we work through this as quick as possible and try to make it as minimally impactful to you as residents as possible. But we do need to get those apartments dry, and that's their biggest key or piece right now, is making sure that we have drying equipment placed. Please, I would ask that if you do have any concerns, questions that come up, or you're wondering about something in your apartment, please reach out to us, either myself, Dawn, or Patrick or Angela in our maintenance department. We have access to Blue Team, and we can make sure we get kind of some communication if there's a question or a concern about something. I want to make sure we can get it addressed, but we have a lot of moving parts right now, and we're moving very quickly to try to get this remediation work completed as quick as possible. So if you do have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us, and we'll continue to try to communicate as much as possible to you as we work through this process. The other thing, so a couple of other items that are happening across our campus. One, for those of you in Gables East, I know on Wednesday of this week, we had our electricity changeover. And we were trying to make sure we had communication ahead of time. Unfortunately, FPL showed up on site without any notice, and we had to jump into action very quickly because we did not want to miss the opportunity to switch over. So FPL did come. We were able to turn the power off, get those generators unhitched or unconnected to the building, and reconnect the FPL power, and then get that FPL power back up. So that building, Gables East, is now on full FPL power. We no longer are using those generators, which is a huge benefit for us, is that we've seen FPL has been fairly consistent over the last few weeks since the storm now. Right after the storm and the power came back on, it was still flickering off and on here and there, and so we really didn't want to do it right away. But we did get that back up and running, and we also had our elevator company here trying to work through some of the elevator challenges that we've had in that building. The R-wing elevator was an issue with the generator, so we knew that with the generator plugged in, it was not going to run that R-wing elevator, unfortunately, because of the way the phasing of the electricity worked in that generator. And I will tell you, that's over my head. So if you understand that, you are way smarter than I am. But that was not going to work with the generator. And so now that we're back on FPL power, that R-wing elevator will be looked at by our elevator company, make sure we get that back up and running. Also wanted to give you a couple of other updates. So dining. I know we've been kind of all over the board with dining and kind of what we're doing and how you're getting your meals. And we had 2 meals a day for a while. We went back to 1 meal a day. We are going to continue with the 1 meal a day, but starting Monday, the 24th of October, we will be going back to like a full menu selection. You'll have your options to say, what you would like to eat, and that you will have a choice of a delivery at either lunch or dinner. So it will still be a delivery at this point, but you'll have a choice for lunch or dinner beginning Monday, October 24th. All right, with that, please, when you get your menus to fill out, please complete those menus and return them to the second floor dining room. So we used to have, all the different floors had a place to collect those menus. We are going back to the second floor dining room, okay? So when you fill those menus out, please make sure you return them to that second floor. We'll get those there, and then we'll make sure we deliver those meals to you. I am working as quickly as possible with our Blue Team vendor here to get those dining rooms reset back up. They have to do a little bit more work from moisture standpoint and removing some of the damaged areas, but we are going to try and get those dining rooms back up to speed as quick as possible and get you back in there eating meals. So as soon as we can get you back in there, I will make sure that you're aware and we get that set back up for you. Also, I've had some questions about visitors. We are back open to full visitor access, so if you'd like to have visitors come in, you are welcome to do so. I just caution you all, we still do have, areas of our building that are not back up to speed yet, so please make sure you're escorting your visitors, in and out of the buildings. They are welcome to come to your apartment. They're welcome to stay with you in your apartment if you would like. So that is still all open. It's your choice. I know some of you have the dehumidifiers and fans still going in your apartments, and that might remain for several days. It could be a week. It could be more than that, depending on how much water or moisture damage is there. But it is up to you if you want people to come with the equipment there, if you'd rather wait until until that time is passed. Also, just want to let you know we do not have any guest suites available currently, and we will not have guest suites available until our work is completed in all of our resident apartments. And the reason for that is we are working to move some of our residents around as we have to do some extensive work in certain apartments. And so that is still one of the challenges that we're going to run into. Is our goal is no resident is going to have to leave our campus. We're going to keep everybody here. We're going to make sure that they're comfortable. We have set up a couple of apartments as guest suites or hotel rooms, if you will, and they'll be ready for folks to, transition to if it's for a day or 2 days as some of the work is done in their apartment, or if it could be longer in some instances, depending on how much work needs to be done. So we'll be working through that process, but I just wanted to let you all know that visitors are welcome in the buildings. Just please be cautious of where you're at with them and what they're working through. Also wanted to share the lanais. So still had some questions about lanais. All of the lanais have been reviewed. They are safe for use. If you have a lanai that was damaged during the storm, you probably have the 2x4s and plywood that will remain as they work on obtaining the permits as well as the supplies to replace those lanais. And then they will come to rebuild those lanais. But for now, the plywood barrier is going to be in place. That is a safety barrier just so people don't get to the edge of that lanai. But that will remain in place until we're able to get those lanais replaced. But you are safe to go out on your lanai. Also landscaping. So as everybody saw, unfortunately, we lost quite a few trees. Some of our beautiful royal palms in the entrance came down. Those were all reviewed by arborists with Mainscape, and they determined whether those trees were either good, meaning that they would start to regrow after the storm, or whether they were damaged too badly that they would not regrow, that they would just die. And so we had to work through that process and take out those trees that we had to remove. We are working on the replacement for those trees. I know some of those were very, very tall royal palm trees in the front, probably somewhere between 40 and 50 feet tall. We're being told right now as we work through this that the royal palms that come back will probably be closer to about 25 to 30 feet tall. So we'll be still close, just not as tall as the ones that were there before. It'll take a little while for those to regrow.
Question on the trees, Brian, because that broke everyone's heart to see those. That's our emblem, really,
Absolutely.
But were those palm trees, do you know if they were here prior to Charlie or were they here after Charlie?
So I've gotten that question, and I do not know the answer to that. And I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of pictures of the campus over the years, progressive pictures, and I cannot tell whether those were planted after Charlie or if they were there before Charlie.
Yeah.
I do know that when Charlie came through, we lost a lot of trees that were not replaced, particularly in the back of the campus. So there used to be several oak trees kind of lining the roadway back there, and those were taken down. I don't think there were replacements, but our goal is that we will be replacing most of the trees that came down because we don't want to lose the look and feel of our campus in that lush tropical setting.
We'll have to ask our local historians. We have Marilyn Hill and Betty Terhune.
Absolutely.
Both were here during Charlie. So I'm going to have to go and investigate.
Yeah, we'll have
investigative journalism.
There you go. So that's a little call out to Marilyn and Betty. If you see Dawn, give her the update for the trees,
let me know.
So, but we'll be working through the landscaping. I know just trees are kind of the big topic, but there's also several flower bed garden areas that we'll need to be addressing as well. So we'll be working through all of that. And then also just to note, Town Hall and Arts and Crafts all suffered a little bit of damage. We are working on kind of getting those back up to par so they can be utilized again. Nothing significant that they can't be used. It's just they definitely had some damage in there that we had to make safe before we could use those again. And then some of the repairs happening. So things like the rooftop repairs, the carports, the village area roofing that we're going to have to do, replacement of windows. Those are all working through the permitting process. So I just signed some of the paperwork to start on the permits with Charlotte County. The blue team will be working through that from their roofing division as well as their construction division for the window replacements and things like that. So we'll be working through that as quick as possible, but it's going to be contingent upon some of the permitting from the county as how quick we can start some of that work. Also, I know a lot of the residents in Gables East have been wondering about the east renovation. I will be holding a meeting this week still, just to talk about kind of where we are. We have paused the construction for right now as we finish up trying to figure out where all the moisture intrusion took place and where we need to remove some of the drywall and ceiling tiles and things like that. We have been in contact with the construction company who's chomping at the bit to get back in here and continue the work. So we're working as quick as possible to remediate any of the moisture intrusion, and then we'll get Laniat back in to continue the renovation work. So it is on pause right now until we get that final moisture mapping done and understand what we need to do, and then we'll get Laniat in here and kind of begin or continue that work that they were working on previously. So our goal was to have all of the construction done before the Christmas time frame, and we will probably not meet that target right now, particularly as we talk about supplies and items like that that might be a little bit harder to get as we work through that process. So as we get back on track, depending on what day we start back, we will redo sort of that schedule and let you all know what that schedule looks like as far as what floors we'll get to and how quickly we'll be able to get the entire project completed. So that's what I know on the east renovation right now. The last few things I just wanted to share with you. So from a recruitment standpoint, so in our latest orientation, which just happened this Monday, we had 20 new employees in orientation. So that was incredible. Now, some of those, a handful of those, were folks that we had begun conversations with prior to the storm, and we were just continuing to get them through the process and get them onboarded to come into orientation. But we had a lot of people come right after the storm, about within the week after the storm, and we went through the hiring process as quick as possible. Now, right now, one of the things that takes us a long time to get people through the process is the background check. And so it just takes time for the state to return us that background check. Well, due to the storm, because of the emergency order, they allowed for those background checks to be considered a temporary background check where we do a very quick background check kind of locally. It's still submitted up to the Department of Law Enforcement, but we do a quick background check, and then we submit to the state and wait for that final background check to come back, which is a large, robust check, and that includes all the states that the employee has ever lived. And so as we go through that, this kind of brief background check allowed us to get people in here and working as quickly. Now, if after the fact we have people that come back on our large, robust background check with any issues, we obviously have to work through that process of that associate at that time. But the goal was that we were able to get people onboarded as quick as possible, and the state allowed for that to happen during this window because of the storm. And so we'll continue to work on the hiring side of it. I'll tell you that within the week after the storm, I stopped by our local radio station, Kicks Country 92.9 FM. And they were broadcasting a lot of stuff about the storm. So they were giving updates about Charlotte County and kind of what was going on. And I was driving in the morning, and I thought, well, I'm just going to pull in there and see if I can tell them that we're hiring, that we're open and we're hiring. And so they brought me into the studio and they gave me a headset and said, "Come on the radio with us." So I was able to get on the radio, and I just, talked with them. I shared with them a little bit about our story and how we did during the storm, and that we did suffer damages, but that we were, fully operational and open, and let them know that we were looking for people to work. And because, obviously there were people out there that lost jobs during the storm as some of their businesses unfortunately had to shutter or were broken, destroyed, whatever it might be. And so we were really just trying to put the word out there that, hey, if you're looking and you're interested, we have positions still available. And so I was pleased to see one new associate that pulled me aside during the orientation on Monday, and she told me she had heard me on the radio. She told me I sounded desperate, so there you have it. But I was on the radio, and hopeful that maybe got the word out that we were hiring. I know a lot of people didn't have internet during that time. They didn't have phones or cell phones, and so we basically said our phone line wasn't working, but here's our address, so come on in, and we're open for business, and we'd like to hire you. So anyway, for what it's worth, we were all kind of working as quick as possible to try to get folks onboarded. And we still have a lot more folks coming through the process as well right now as we speak. So the last piece with that, I also wanted to just mention through our kind of rush of hiring, we also were able to hire a sales and marketing director. That position has been open for about 11 months now. It's been a long time, but we were able to finally get that position solidified, and we have a new sales and marketing director that will be starting with us in November. So very excited to get that work in the works, I guess, if you will. So anyway, I know there's probably a lot more stuff going on. Many of our projects that we were working on, we still have on the docket to continue. Some of them may have been paused depending on the type of project it is, but we will continue to work through some of those larger projects across our campus and work toward just re-beautifying our campus here at Southport Square. So anyway, with that being said, since there's no other footage, Dawn, I think it is the magical moment for a joke. Now, I said to Dawn earlier, I said, hey, that would be great if we could find a Hurricane Ian joke. And she told me a few that were probably a little, borderline as to whether we could share them or not.
I still think this one's good. I still think it's a good one, and I think 99% of the residents will get a kick out of it.
Let's do it.
All right. Where do squirrels go during a hurricane?
I have no clue. Where?
All over the place.
All right.
Over the place.
You be the judge. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like it, call Dawn and tell her.
It's so funny.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I hope we don't have any squirrels around here. But anyway, well, listen, I hope everybody is doing well, and I appreciate everybody's patience and understanding as we work through this process. And please reach out to me if there's any concerns or questions. I want everybody to be comfortable as we can as we work through some of the repairs. So thank you all very much, and have a great week.
Have a great week. And Brian, thank you for your leadership. Honestly, I truly mean that. I'm not just saying that because you pay me to sit behind the camera. And it's not because I'm holding the sign that says that. But no, really, honestly, you've been a wonderful leader through this whole thing. And I'm very proud to work with you. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Dawn. Bye-bye.
We are here. Probably a lot of you haven't heard. I heard on Monday that this beautiful group just won an award. And the award is Best Meals and Dining for 2022, given by A Place for Mom. Okay, so this is a big deal, guys. This is nationwide, and I'm gonna let Vicky explain the parameters because she's the numbers lady, and she got really excited when she called me. And of course, I asked who they pay, but that's a joke. All right,
so for those of you that aren't aware of A Place for Mom, they are a professional referral source for family members looking to place, or for residents or family members looking for assisted livings. As Brenda said, it is a national award. This award is given based on family members and residents' reviews. So it is what everyone that you are serving or the families of everyone that you are serving has said about us. They are ranked on a 5-star review system. I'm a numbers person. There were 93 reviews. Out of a potential 5 stars, you all got 5 stars.
Wow.
In a time and place where most people get mad at a company and put reviews out on their websites, I am very amazed and very touched by how well you guys do every single day, and want you guys to know that it is seen by the people that you serve and by their family members. So congratulations on a perfect star rating.
Wow.
Yay.
So, and again, last week when we were celebrating our well-deserved week, I told you all that I never work with a group that are so committed to work together, always do the best, this is a validation. And if we need more, we were in Publix like earlier, and the cashier at Publix told us that the community is talking to them how well the people here, the residents, are being taken care of by us, okay? So the community is noticing that as well. So you guys are rock stars. You are still doing a good job, and I want you to know that we are very proud of you all, okay?
Thank you. Wow, thank you.
Yay.
Come and get cake.
Come and
This,
get
guys, this is for you, and it's to celebrate y'all, so thank you.
Wow.
We serve them.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julio. Happy birthday to you.
So I think it's probably a bigger crowd.
Here we go.
And they're all West people. Maybe they don't know about it.
And Fran took our money, counting the money. And Bill's getting all ready. We went and printed more cards. We've got lots of people here, so it's working really good. It's a nice Saturday night. It's 7 o'clock at night, and we're going to play a music bingo.
You smiling, me taking your money.
Okay. Oh, that's good stuff.
All that good stuff.
All righty.
Yeah. Find yourself a seat.
So that was 16 tons. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. I picked up my shovel and I walked the mine. I loaded 16 tons, the number 9 coal and the straw.
He's playing Ernie Ford.
That's
It's
my
16
soul.
tons, so everybody's looking for that on their card. You're welcome to sing it when you hear it.
The teardrops
Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until don't be ashamed.
save the
So Mary's got a bingo.
And here's your $5. You get 5 whole
And she
dollars.
gets $5 for that.
Okay. Good
The
going.
prices are.
Y'all look so serious.
That one is feelings. Another one's like really YOLO.
Okay, and Eleanor won, so she gets $3. You got more than you came with. That's right. And here's Janice. She got 3. Hello. Y'all having fun?
We are. We are. Yeah.
Okay, well, the next one.
Okay, Kathy, here we come with some money for you. You get a whole $8. Wow.
That looks good. What do you got left? 1, 2, 3 there.
Only a couple there, 3. Who's down to 1 or 2 for coverall? This is Frankie Ballet. It's the name of the song, Sherry.
The new people, good.
Now, which one's the winner? Me. This one?
That part.
Well, it looks like you got all those. Here's the only ones we didn't play. So.
That's life I was waiting for my very first diagonal.
Right.
And it never played ball.
Well, it looks like you got
Okay,
it. So.
and she gets $9 whole.
Oh, wow, thank you.
All right. Now we ran out of money.
Welcome to Southport.
Thank you, thank you.
They were ragged and funny.
Singing a song, side by side.
Jump back on and I don't care. Jump back on and I don't care. The rest is gone away. And when you ride in the afternoon,
Walk for them.
Glad y'all came. It was fun. The winners it was especially fun for, right? Okay, glad to have you all here.
he's got Southport Square. In his hands he's got Southport Square. In his hands he's got Southport Square. In his hands he's got the whole world. One more time. He's got Southport Square. In his hands he's got Southport Square. In his hands he's got Southport Square. In his hands he's got the whole world in his hands.
Yay!
Down by the old mill stream, where I first met you, with your eyes all blue, dressed in gingham too. It was there I knew that you loved me true. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling, from glen to glen, and down the mountainside. The summer's gone, and all the roses falling. It's you must go, and I must die. Come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valleys hush and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Daddy boy, I love you so. But when you come and all the flowers are down,
We were sailing along on moonlight bay. We could hear the voices singing. They seemed to say, you have stolen her heart. Now don't go away. Blossoms sweet song on moonlight day. We were sailing along on moonlight day. We could hear the voices singing. They seemed to say, you have stolen her heart. Now don't go.
Is that a good beer, Bob? You look like you're really enjoying that beer.
Pumpkin ale.
Pumpkin, really? It's okay?
They don't have any Heineken. They got a sign there, but there's no Heineken.
Oh, no. Let me go see if I can get you a Heineken. Yeah. Pumpkin beer.
Wine or beer.
Well, that's fancy beer, so I think when you take a sip, I think you should hold your pinky up. Go ahead, try it. It'll probably taste better. It's fancy. Look at that. Pinky, yup, pinky's up. Fancy beer. Yeah. Does that make it taste better? Yeah. How you doing? Hello. Madam, how are you? You don't have your neck brace on. Oh, it's happy to see that off, huh? Hi, Sally. Hi, Clarence. Hi, Judy. So is that the pumpkin ale?
This is my Boston Oktoberfest beer.
Oh, you brought that down yourself? Oh, you got that there? So
Got the German.
Bob Case was drinking pumpkin beer. And I told him he had to put his pinky up because it was fancy. Oh, with an E. Whoa! Hey, Pat, how you doing? Hi! Hello, party animals. How are ya? Hi, Alice. Hi. Well, hello, everyone. Hello. Hi. Look at those beautiful outfits. Now that's an authentic, yeah, lederhosen, right? Yeah, that's pretty. Very pretty. Yeah, let's see how pretty. There, now turn. Yeah. Get up, get up. Wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful. I am here in the dark. I believe it's about 8:30, 8:45. The power is out, but not in a bad way. They are transferring over to FP&L, so they have to shut all the power down to disconnect that giant generator that is out front of Gables West. We're running right now on the generator that is attached to this building on a regular emergency basis. So that's why you see the lights. So I am enjoying my breakfast that LCS, I don't know if you can see it, I can't see it. If I can't see it, the calories don't count. Woohoo! But I'm enjoying my breakfast that the LCS has provided for us. The team, corporate team is here helping, and they are feeding us very well. And like I said, if you eat in the dark, the calories don't count because you can't see them. It's about 10 o'clock and I'm still in the dark, but I have to get some work done. So I have my handy dandy flashlight and I am processing some applications that this wonderful company, LCS, this actually brings tears to my eyes. The company that we work for has a foundation, and they are providing emergency relief to the workers. There's a federal grant that they received, and they are distributing funds. I'm not sure how much, but if anything, it is helping us with our deductibles that we have to pay, and housing, and just anything that we need. This company has been more than supportive and generous. So if anyone from the LCS corporate offices is watching us, we thank you as an associate here. We truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your dedication to the associates. It is making a world of difference. All right, I got to go back to work now and get these processed so that my fellow co-workers can get the help that they need. So God bless.
You're not doing anything.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Hey, Dawn, have
Hi,
you got a
Dawn.
minute?
I have a minute.
Okay. Last year, do you remember getting the lesson in cross stitch?
I do. I do
you
remember.
Took it and you did a really good job on it and everything. And I framed it for you.
You framed my artwork?
I did. I thought you would like it. So
Oh.
Here you go.
Wow! It's me! The witch! Oh, that's awesome! And I did, which part did I do? I did this part right here, right?
Catch it? Orange to orange.
Orange to orange. Is that the part that I did? Oh, this is wonderful. So this is what it was supposed to look like. Oh, thank you,
She
Wanda.
worked so hard on it, and I wanted to frame it for her. And so I think it's ready for Halloween, so we're going to put it in a real prominent spot. Okay?
Yes,
Let's put
absolutely. Do I get, oh, I even have a frame holder. Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much.
I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't come up with a way, and I did the orange to orange. And
Ah.
you caught it right away.
So, just for those that are watching at home, Wanda gave me this. She taught me how to do cross stitch last year, and it was a witch pattern. And I got from orange to orange done. I just did one line, and I got frustrated, and I couldn't do it anymore. So Wanda did this. You must. Did you do this during the hurricane?
Dawn 2021.